Welcome back to Sports Talk with Krish, Season 5, Episode 4. It has been a minute since I've been back on here, and I apologize for the wait, but we're going to get this going. Once again, channel's back up. It's going to be a lot of uploads, a lot of Panthers talk, more from the NFL, the NBA, a little bit of the MLB, just kind of get everything out there. But today we are going to focus on our beloved Carolina Panthers. I'm Krish alongside Connor, Brandon, and Jacob. We're just going to be talking about Panthers football for talking about free agency, the draft, all that good stuff. So, how y'all doing? I want to ask that first.
Good, bro. Good, glad to be here.
Having us, Krish.
Yeah, I mean, we got laggy Jacob in the car. I don't think I ever joined a pod in the car before. But
that's our dedication.
You know, that is huge.
Dedication.
I did not think you joined it. But he proved me wrong. Jacob's on here again. So let's get straight to it. We'll talk about free agency. On our last pod, we talked about some options that Carolina could have in free agency. And if I remember from that episode, I mean, I'll probably send it back to the group chat a little bit later to see what we predicted. Some of our predictions, including Milton Williams, who the Panthers had for like an hour before he decided at the last moment to sign with the New England Patriots. Also talk about the hopes of getting a guy like Zach Bond, who stays in Philadelphia. But one player that did hit from that discussion was Trevon Moehrig. We really wanted him at safety coming over from the Las Vegas Raiders. So I want to just go around here. That was one of my favorite pickups that we had. Brennan, I'll start with you. What do you think was a big pickup Carolina got this offseason?
Yeah, Moehrig was my favorite safety target. I know Holland was pretty popular, but I love Moehrig. I think he's, with all due respect to Chin, I think he's a better version of Chin. I think he's a dog that Dan Morgan likes. He's a run stuffer. He's a decent coverage player, but I expect him to be pretty downhill in the 3-4. So I love the signing. Especially, it's a little overpaid, but the safety market's moving, and I loved it. I love the pickup.
And we did spend our cash, at least the first day or two, I'd say, of free agency. We really went all in on fixing the defense. I remember last offseason, everything was kind of focused on offensive pieces, especially for the draft. A lot of our rookies had to get playing time on the offensive side of the ball. I'm curious what Carolina will do in the draft this year. But for now, we know that we're looking more into defense, at least. I mean, we see the signing with Moehrig. We see the extension with J.C. Horn, now the highest paid corner in NFL history. I think he's very deserving of that contract. He's definitely the top 5 cornerback when healthy. And with how the cornerback market, we talked about the safety market, with the quarterback market moving up as well, I hope that contract ages really well in like a year or two. Look back at it. I'm kind of happy Morgan got the deal done a year earlier. Connor, what about you? What do you think was a move Carolina made this offseason that you really liked?
You talking about as just a whole?
Yeah.
Like, I really look at Bobby Brown. I think Bobby Brown has the biggest potential to make the biggest impact. Just as a pure nose tackle, that's something we've lacked for a while. I mean, we've ran through guys like Shy Tuttle and can't remember the guy we released, but we had him as an okay nose tackle at points. And then you've been playing guys like LeBron Ray, and it's not worked out. So you look at a guy like Bobby Brown coming in, he can really just clog up the A gap and really just make it solid there with Derek Brown and also some other free agent additions we signed.
I did like the Bobby Brown signing. That was a very underrated signing. And I heard that he'd be very ideal for a 3-4 scheme that everyone runs. Assuming everyone still sticks with his scheme from last season. I just don't think he had the right players for it. That's why our defense was not the best last year. But I like some of the moves you made there. Obviously, you like a guy like Milton Williams. I think we can all agree that Dan Morgan and not many GMs are going to pay Milton Williams more money than Derek Brown.
Yeah, no. Definitely an awkward situation there.
And one more thing. Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, and I give Milton Williams had a good Super Bowl performance. So I'm not giving him just from one game.
Yeah. And one more thing with Bobby Brown is he's only 24.
Right.
So that's something. I mean, you could potentially have him long term if everything works out. So.
And Jacob, I don't know how much you've been able to hear, big bro, but what do you think about these offensive offense? We had a couple offensive moves, but especially defensive moves that Carolina made this offseason?
Well, I think the real big one was extending JC. Like we have a history in the last couple of years of trading our star players when they want to get paid or something goes wrong in the negotiations, like Christian and Brian. And not saying there was a problem with DJ, but we traded away a star, like just kind of locking him up for the next, what was it, like 4 or 5 years. I thought it was like really special, and then just bouncing off Brandon and Connor, getting Bobby Brown and Trayvon Merrick. Like I don't think it was any secret that we were getting gashed in the run game last season. I think that was something that even Dave Canales himself said in some interview I watched. So yeah, like I said, it was really obvious that we're missing Derek Brown. With the nose tackles that we have right now, and Shy Tuttle and Ashawn Robinson aren't really going to cut it. And based off the tape, Bobby Brown, like Connor said, he just clogs the A gap. So pairing him with Derek Brown would be really good. And Merrick, he just gets physical. He's nasty inside the box in the run game, which is really good and will help us.
Well, I like how y'all have mentioned Derek Brown and Bobby Brown. I don't want to forget about Treshaun Wharton as well, that Carolina brought in from KC, because he had 6.5 sacks in that regular season, finished up the year with 8.5 sacks. He's also 26 years old. So really young defensive players that Dan Morgan was able to bring in. Morton cost a little bit more than Bobby Brown. These are huge moves for our defensive line.
And another thing too is that besides Merrick, we added a bunch of players on winning teams. That definitely helps us in the locker room. They know what winning feels like. They know what it takes to win and to get a spot in the playoffs. So it's good.
Yeah, and by all accounts for Wharton, according to Chiefs fans, they were pretty upset about losing him, and that's always a good thing. If you see fans of a winning team like Kansas City, saying they really wanted Treshaun Wharton back, that's always a good sign.
Yep.
I like the moves we made defensively so far. Could we have gotten a guy like Holland to double dip at safety? Of course, but I think that's asking for too much. I think Dan Morgan did a pretty good job on restructuring the defense this offseason. But with going all in on defense, that kind of leaves a little bit left on the bone for offense. For example, Carolina has been linked to guys like T. Higgins and these star receivers for not even just this offseason, but the offseason before that. And it's felt like they've really tried their best. And I don't know if this is really true, these sources, but there's rumors that Carolina offered certain draft compensation to lure in DK Metcalf from Seattle. Obviously, that did not work out. So they made a few offensive moves. The one move I really liked in free agency was the 1-year contract they gave Rico Dowdle, the former Cowboy, to be the running back too. We lost cut Miles Sanders, actually. So now we have Chuba and Dowdle. That actually gives Jonathan Brooks more time to recover, I feel. If they both stay healthy, that's a solid 1-2. So I like that offensive move. But what do you also think about these wide receiver rumors? Because not getting a guy like T, it sucks because you've been linked to and really wanted a true wide receiver one. But Brendan, I'll start up top with you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it just shows that Dan and Dave are truly 100% confident in the guys in the room right now. Like, it's a cliche saying, but they're really investing in developing Coker and Leggett. Obviously, we need to add somebody to the room because in today's NFL, you can't just go off of projection. Like, if they think those guys are good, that's good for the locker room, good for their confidence, but you got to have a sure guy. And I would love for them to go after a vet for a year or two, somebody like Amari Cooper, who's a good safety blanket, experienced and productive, somebody that can instantly upgrade the room, but also not put pressure on Leggett or Coker having to have a crazy year right away. Gives them more time to develop.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about it, I mean, Coker, Leggett, obviously a ton. I would say a ton of potential. I think they should get this season because, especially on Coker's side, I think going into the season, neither of them really thought they were going to be the guy, especially near the end of the season. They became the guy. Obviously, our wide receiver one is still and will be Adam Thielen if we do not make any moves. But Thielen, Leggett, Coker, those three guys, they really had to step up. We thought Deontay Johnson would be our wide receiver one. That did not work out. We thought maybe we could lure in a wide receiver a really star wide receiver to solidify that one spot, and that has not worked out so far. Still stuff to happen in the future. But Leggett and Coker just getting their chance out there, and they definitely have a lot. Both of them, I'd say, specifically Leggett. Obviously, some drops. I think a lot of us were frustrated about. But Connor, I'll go to you about it as well. What are your thoughts of Carolina not getting a big name receiver like a Metcalf or Higgins kind of name? Or what do you think about that?
It's unfortunate that we haven't been able to, get a wide receiver one in the more recent years since trading away DJ Moore. I don't know how much I put into those rumors. Kind of like Brandon said, it kind of feels like and sounds like they want to continue to develop the guys they have in there now, and Leggett and Coker. I do believe. Looking at the receiver room right now, you've got Thielen, Leggett, and Coker, and then behind them you have guys like Dan Chisena, who we re-signed, Bryson Tremaine, Dax Milne. You've got to add something there, whether it's through the draft or whether it's through what's left in free agency. I know there's guys like Amari Cooper and some other guys, some other names out there, some notable names, Stephon Diggs. Those could be options. I don't know if that's the best fit for the current path and current timeline. It would help. It would definitely raise the floor. I wouldn't necessarily say it's going to raise the ceiling of the receiver room. But at this point, I don't know if you're in a position to be able to raise the ceiling, and you might be best just to raise the floor because you've got those three guys, and this is no offense to those guys behind them, but pretty much nothing after that.
I'm trying to find some more wide receiver news. I was a little bit on a distance from sports yesterday, other than some college basketball. So I see Utopia Sports on Twitter going off per usual. I'm trying to see if there is any wide receiver one rumors. I guess NFL notifications got a tweet about Brandon Ayuk to Carolina. Y'all might probably know about this already. But, talking about the Patriots and Panthers have been monitoring the T. Higgins and Brandon Ayuk situation. Allegedly called them. Utopia Sports says that this is false. So now I really hope it happens. But I'm all BT Panthers, but Jacob, what do you think about this wide receiver situation?
Yeah, so Dan Morgan has said like multiple times, he's put an emphasis on it that he wants to build this team through the draft. And if he wants to and if he's trying to make a deal or something and he has to offer like any higher picks or something like that, I don't think that's something that he's going to be like very interested in. Like you said, you know how much truth there was to the DK Metcalf rumors of what we gave up and what draft picks we gave up. But I think he's like really invested in just building this team through the draft and developing our young guys like Coker and Leggett. Coker, I think he's really good. He's good. He has great size. Just has good, reliable hands. Leggett, he's had some drops. He's had some stumbles along the way. But, if you compare that to his collegiate seasons, he's only gotten better as time went on. And I'm pretty confident that he'll get better as time went on here. Like, if he figured it out there, he can most definitely figure it out here as well. So I think it'll be good. So maybe we can – I think – I would definitely love to take a Ted McMillan of the world at 8 if that's what they want to do. I wouldn't be, I would obviously love that. That would immediately add a wide receiver one of the future for Bryce. But if they want to add like a Jalen Royals of the world or something, maybe in the 3rd round, I'd be completely fine with that too. So
that's actually a really good point you brought up about Xavier Leggett, his collegiate career really getting embedded. Wow. Actually, I didn't even know this. His first 3 seasons in college, he had under 10 receptions, and then his 4th kind of got a little bit more production. He just an explosive final season, 71 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So maybe that does mean something. I look back a lot at Devontae Adams, his year-by-year stats. It took a couple seasons for him to become that elite receiver that he is now. Unfortunately, we couldn't lure him in either. But it takes time with some of these receivers. So that's actually, I really like that point that you bring up. Still looking at his stats for this season, everything going on, quarterback change and losing the locker room to starting to get back in the games, and I guess some injuries he may have dealt with. It was still a really solid season. So I can definitely see where we're at wide receiver wise, and I think I've made my opinion clear in the last few weeks. If we do continue adding on defense and free agency, I would be more than interested in adding a guy like Ted McMillan. He's a demon. I think he can really change this offense. But I guess we'll have to see what Dan Morgan will do. So I'm gonna pull up a mock draft. I just use database. It really isn't that accurate most of the time. To be so honest with you, there'll be times that it actually is like 1 out of 10 polls are really accurate. But there'll also be times that I can draft Travis Hunter at 8. So we're just gonna see what happens. Kind of just go from what we'll feel Dan Morgan's choice. Kind of like I asked Jacob a couple months ago. So
This person in front of me is going so slow. Dude's going 25 and a 35.
maybe they're driving analysis.
Bro, I'm not gonna be able to read this. Hold on.
I'll just say them out loud here.
Y'all gonna have to help me out.
Yeah, got you. So let's see. Pick 8. Who is going to be available, and what did I tell you? Okay, Travis Hunter's available.
Take that demon.
Tyler Warren, Will Johnson. We have been linked to Jalen Walker a lot as well. So what do you guys think here? I'll just go top to bottom for my screens. And Connor, I'll start with you.
Okay. I will say I will agree with. I think it was Jacob that said it. Towards the beginning of the offseason, I was not for Ted McMillan at 8, but given that we have addressed defense a good bit in free agency, defensive line specifically, I'm more open to Ted at 8. I'm also open to potential trade back. That would probably be my preferred option, is trade down a few picks and get a earlier second round pick, because there is a lot of talent in the early second round that we are going to miss out on from 8 to 57 we have.
Yeah, I don't like that gap.
Yeah,
that is a very large gap that I'm not comfortable with. I'm thinking early 40s, late 30s if we could try to get a second round pick. But if I had to stick at 8 at this point, I'm down between Tedero McMillan and Jalen Walker. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you, Connor. I think those are probably the main two guys I'd like to go with. There's some Tyler Warren smoke, but I don't think we're really in the position to just add a player just because he's good and at a position that's not a position that could improve. But I mean, JT Sanders showed that he could play legit in the pass game when he got some chances. Tommy's a great blocker. We got bigger needs than tight end, I think. So I think the best receiver or best edge rusher / linebacker hybrid would be the move here for sure.
And then Jacob, I'm assuming you're going with Ted.
What'd you say?
I'm assuming you're going with Ted at 8.
This is great radio.
Wait, who's available?
So we got Travis Hunter, Ted.
Yeah, take Travis Hunter at 8. Take Travis Hunter at 8.
Hey,
I take, dude. If Travis Hunter was there at 8, I'd run up the card myself.
I mean, I would too. It's just like I don't even think he's making it past 5.
Hey, low key though, to add on, despite all the moves we made in free agency, if Mason Graham fell, I don't see us like not picking him, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think we still would.
That makes sense.
I can look. So the top picks in this mock was 1 Abdul, 2 Shador, 3 Cam Ward, 4 Will Campbell, 5 Mason Graham, 6
Will Campbell,
7 Kelvin Williams.
Genty at 6 is interesting.
Yeah, Vegas goes Genty at 6.
Yeah, I think that's a semi-realistic group of players to go. I mean, some of them obviously like
my vote is Ted here, to be honest. I don't know. It's kind of changed.
I think I'm going Ted here also.
Yeah, I'm cool with Ted here.
All right, we'll take Ted at number 8, and now we have to wait till 50. This is what worries me. I do think in real life, Carolina does move up from 57 a little bit.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be maybe some type of defensive player that we're interested in. Like a Malachi Starks just went off the board. I could see us trying to move up and that. So we'll see who falls to 57. We've got couple corners right off the bat. Morrison, Azure Thomas, Landon Jackson, Tyreek Williams, Greg Mason Taylor too. Judkins is down there, so I know we signed Dowdle, but that's kind of what we got on the board right now.
Let's look at the edge position here to see
Okay.
what's on the board.
All right, so we're looking at the edge. I like Kyle Kanon out of South Carolina, but I feel like we could kind of wait. I've been jumping at 57.
Yeah, I think it's a little early for some of these guys. I think Pinsley and Braden are two pretty good players there that fit what we need. Yeah, this with taking Ted at 8, this is definitely a defensive spot, whether it's the best corner or edge or maybe
safety an option here.
Safety's going to take a minute as well.
Yeah, but he's an awesome player.
Yeah, but we got really good corner options though right here too. Benjamin Morrison and Thomas that we can go with.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at corner here at all. For sure.
I don't know which you guys prefer.
I think here I would go Morrison or go back to edge and take Swinson. Personally.
Who are the other corners that are available?
Well, let's see. We got Morrison, Thomas, and a little bit of a fall off.
Okay, yeah, it's a fall off after that.
I think they like Amos a lot.
Yeah.
He's a mid-second round.
I'm assuming we missed out. Bond just won a couple picks ago. So did Watson, Trey Harris. So that's the situation where I see us trading up. Like Watts goes 49 right here. If we could jump up like one of these spots right here, I could see us going Watts if they're in the league. Assuming we don't have another safety, we think it's caliber starting. But I definitely see us. I see us going corner here, especially with two really good corner options. I'm not going to say you can't miss here.
Yeah.
Expected to be really solid.
Rest the secondary in any way here.
So I don't know if there's one that you guys prefer more than the other, but
yeah, I'm cool with Benjamin Morrison here.
I think I would prefer Benjamin Morrison myself.
Yeah, we'll go BPA. So we'll go Benjamin Morrison, second round pick. I like this so far.
Azariah Thomas is a bigger body, but I think overall Benjamin Morrison would probably be.
Would you know Jacob Judkins still on the board at 74?
Are you serious?
Right here, best player.
Take that demon. Take that demon.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
we have
Princely's there. We're pulling the trigger for sure.
I'd say Princely is. If he's
there. You can get Princely at edge right here.
Yeah, here I think you definitely have to go edge.
I see Jack Beck, he really took tech, but
there's your guy, Brandon.
That's just there. I think receiver or edge, I think is definitely the move here.
I'd say you have to go Princely. That seems like a no-brainer to me.
It's too good of a player sitting there.
That's a really good pickup. We go Princely in the third round. Yeah, I think I agree. Let's do it. Let's go Princely. So the Judkins dream is over. He went to New England. Oh, everyone goes to New England. That sucks. All right, so we do wait a little bit. We have 111 and 114. So someone go back to back. I see that. I really like Restrepo. He actually got the vehicle since we got some of the news we address first. I like Demetrius Knight. We could get the safety right here.
Makuba's still on the board.
Makuba's right there. Dylan Stanton. There's also Kevin Winston, the safety from Penn State.
I like him. I like Winston. He's good.
And then there's Gunnar Helm if we want to do a Texas 1-2 at tight end.
That's intriguing.
Gunnar Helm. That's your boy, Brandon. That's your boy.
There's a crazy group of players available here at 111. I get it's just a mock, and all these sites aren't perfect. Obviously, they've got some crazy stuff happening, but I think if Makuba's here.
What's the Cincinnati? Does that mean we get T. Higgins?
Yeah, is Makuba still available from Texas?
Makuba's still available. I'd say you go that or Winston.
Yeah.
I'll probably go Makuba here.
I would too.
Yeah. Hook him. Let's go.
We need a ball hawking safety.
And we got a pick right here. 3 picks later. I could see us shopping this pick, honestly. I can check the offer.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is to move back 3 spots and get a 5th. And then,
Dude, we're taking Charles
I don't know
Smith White.
with the ops, but we could trade back with maybe 3 spots and get a 5th. I don't know if that's really worth it, though. But at least the guys on the board.
Yeah, I think you stick and pick Restrepo by any means if he's there, or by all means.
This is the 4th round. Restrepo's still here.
Yeah, this is 114. We got Demetrius Knight.
Oh, that's the Mingo pick. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Restrepo there?
Restrepo's right here.
I would double dip and take him.
Man, I would too. That'd be awesome. We already got the defensive.
Oh, no, we already took that.
We got an edge and we got a safety. Yeah.
Do you think they double dip at receiver?
Maybe not this high.
Probably not this high.
This high.
Later in the round.
I think, if they really want to add to the tight end room and Gunnar Helm's there, I think that's a good pick.
That makes more sense.
Back-to-back tight end, Texas tight ends.
Yeah.
And back-to-back drafts.
What about what's there at linebacker? You got Demetrius Knight right there.
Demetrius Knight's BPA. And then we'd have to wait. It'd be like there. I like James Johnson a lot.
I like those top 3 right there a lot.
And we could wait.
Demetrius
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I know. Because it's another gap. It's 114 to 140.
Yeah, I think if they really want to add to the offensive room, they want to tight end. I think you take Gunnar Helm here. Good in the pass.
I'd agree with that.
I agree with that as well. I think the Texas deal will be pretty intriguing too. I mean,
For sure.
Let's go
I
Gunnar
think they
Helm.
can probably both develop
I
pretty well.
really like this mock so far. I truly do. Let's see what Will Howard knows. Philly, insane. He's gonna be ring chasing. Alright, let's see. Devin Neal went off in those games. Okay, we got Jeffrey on the board. I'll look at linebackers. So none of those guys did fall. It'd be Jeffrey or London at 150.
How do y'all feel about Smile London?
I like London a lot.
Yeah,
There's also there's Cole's guy, Beavers from Virginia Tech.
He'd be on the radar for sure. I feel like he's a Dan Morgan guy.
We haven't taken D line yet, so I could see us taking Beavers.
Yeah, you could definitely have some D-line depth here. A lot of the guys that
Because we also have 146, so I mean we could do Peebles here and then probably take London 6 picks.
Didn't we bring in Peoples for a top 30? Am I mistaken in that?
I think they might have had a combine interview
Combine
like that, but there's definitely
It make more sense then. Yeah. Should we go Peebles?
Peebles or Boston. I think those are 2 great players.
Yeah.
I think you
I'd say Peoples here.
Yeah.
If you want to add depth interior.
Another good pick. And I think London stayed on the board. If I'm not mistaken. Boston on the board too.
Yeah, I think you take Boston here.
Okay.
Still there, at least.
Let's be the better.
Yeah, I like Bossa. That's a good pick.
Jeez, I would love this if we ended up doing this in either line. Obviously trade downs and a little bit of movement. But, let's see what we have here. We have Trevor Etienne with us.
I just don't know if we'll take a running back at all in the draft. I'd be pretty surprised.
I think they'll probably sign
Yeah.
DFA.
Lost, bro.
Yeah.
Best believe it, flipping that.
If we didn't take Brooks, I think running back would definitely be on the radar in the draft just because Dowdle's on a 1-year deal. But
you probably said something about ECU.
Yeah, we lost Jacob.
it's all good.
You might not go to walk in, bro.
You can go for some O-line depth here. I think a lot of our depth guys are on 1-year deals. Cade and Orbit on ones.
How about a long snapper?
Wrong coach, bud. I think you get some O-line depth here. I think that's not a bad idea. Or maybe another edge you want to add to that room.
You lagged out. What were you saying? If you could hear me. Yeah. you want to go interior O line or tackle? What do you guys prefer? I think interior has some options.
Yeah, probably interior.
Seth McLaughlin's not terrible.
Yeah, I can't sit here and
That's-
lie. Jake Majors, Texas
That's
guy.
championship experience. I think we should go Seth McLaughlin.
Yeah, I can't sit here and say I've watched these guys film or even know who half of them are. So I think I would probably just take interior from the best school. So I would go Ohio State, or I would take Jake Majors. I do know who that is, but
I am curious, real quick, who's at tackle? Who's there at tackle?
These guys. I think I know Cornelius from William.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with many of those.
Yeah, I think we need more championship experience. I think Seth McLaughlin should be.
cool with me for sure.
I'd say at this point in the 6th and 7th round, it's probably more of a toss-up.
Yeah.
I think it's just BPA.
Now, I'd say for the last pick, go to kicker and grab dude from, or is it Andres? Yeah, Miami.
Yeah, kicker for sure.
Or the Miami guy's solid too.
That dude from Florida State's really good too. The kicker.
That's my goat, Ryan Fitzgerald. Let's see. Yeah, let's take him kickers. So.
Yeah, Fitzgerald's good.
Let's
We're
go.
gonna give him like B plus because
The damn
You got to bring in some kicker competition.
All right, so are we going with the best kicker on the board? Or are we going with Fitzgerald?
They would go Andres, however you say his name. I think there's been some smoke there with all the camps this offseason and
We doing, man? I missed the kicker.
yeah, this is a ridiculous draft.
Almost too ridiculous.
I really like this. I would love this if this happened. We get Tet, corner, Princely in the 3rd. We get back-to-back Texas players, safety and tight end. We get Cole's guy, solid linebacker, goal line, and then we get kicker for the future.
That's all.
Good mock. I like this.
Good mock for sure.
Anything crazy happen up here? Like, usually something really bad happens. Colston Loveland at 9.
Oh, wow.
Hunter at 10.
Travis.
Is that Travis Hunter of the Bears?
Where did Jalen Walker go? 22.
22.
Oh,
Don't think I didn't see that either.
Dart. Running back with Kenny Pickett.
All right, so one last thing
Good
I
keeper.
want to talk about before we wrap it up is we did this in the last one as well. It's kind of look at our opponents for next season because we did this pre-free agency. Now that we have free agency, obviously not the draft, but we have free agency. Does that really change your point of view where you think this team is going to go? So I'm going to pull up our new schedule. Obviously, the weeks and stuff will be confirmed in about May, I believe. But everything else is out to the public. So I'll go. You can go division games first, and that'll be easier. So I'll start with Tampa Bay, home and away. Do we sweep, split, or we get swept?
Humbly, I'll take a split with Atlanta. I think the run defense has definitely improved, and that'll help a ton. I don't know. They have an interesting situation with keeping Kirk and running back with Penix after just a few games as their starter. So who really knows how good they'll be? They had some good outings at the end of the year, but I mean, they were playing us, to be fair. Like, let's just be honest here.
Yeah.
So I'll take a split.
Okay, so split with Atlanta. How about Tampa Bay?
I'm taking the split with Tampa Bay. I think we get the one in Charlotte.
We really should have won the home game.
Yeah. I think we'll get the one in Charlotte.
So that's 2-2 record. I think we sweep the Saints. We might just be talking. But...
Yeah, for sure. I'll take a sweep over the Saints. I have no idea how good they'll be. No idea.
That's I'll get the road games out of the way. Actually, that's a 4-2 record, by the way, in the division. That's really
I'll take
good.
it.
That's really good. So I'll do away games first. Away at the Cardinals. I think that's a game, man. Right?
We've seemingly had the Cardinals number in recent past.
Right.
Yeah, we played them very well last year.
I'll take
Win.
us over the Cardinals.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's 5-0. Calm down. San Francisco, that's definitely an L.
Yeah, I'll take the L on that one.
I don't even want to say definitely, but
I wouldn't say definitely an L. I think we
I
could
don't
put up a
know.
good fight.
You don't think we beat San Francisco?
I'll say an L, but
I think they'll put up a fight. I'm not going to say
I mean,
definitely.
honestly, I get that just from our games against the Chiefs.
I mean, their culture is changing. I mean, they're gaining confidence because they kept it close with the 2 Super Bowl teams. So we thought they were going to get blown out by them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so hard to pick games like that.
And plus, the 49ers are losing. They've been losing a lot of talent recently on their team.
We had
They're not the same team they're not the same Super Bowl team they were a couple years ago.
But we'll take an L. I'm cool with an L here, just to so we're not out here making us go 13 and
Brock Purdy
Yeah.
Brock Purdy versus Matt Gay.
yeah, he can get that Mickey Mouse bag.
New England. Oh, so we have the Milton Williams Bowl on the road. 5-3.
And Williams Bowl.
I want to win.
We're beating the Patriots.
Yeah, they should have a good defense.
Robert
Haven't
Hunt.
had any pass catchers. Run game still not great, so I'll take a win there.
I'll take a win as
Robert
well.
Hunt's walking him down. I need to see it. So that's 6-3, and then we go to play the Jets. Feels like another win.
We're playing
Yeah, I
Justin Fields for the first time.
Yep. I think
Wait, have we not played Justin Fields before?
No,
That is
Wow.
so crazy.
That's hard to believe,
Wait.
actually.
we
Wow.
played the Bears, but it was what's his face?
Tyson Bagent.
Bagent.
Yeah, we
Oh,
played Tyson
it was
Bad.
Bagent. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Justin
I'll
Fields.
take. I got us though. I got us against the Jets.
We'll start Jordan Travis that game. All right, we got Lambeau. I actually had a prediction of this. If we do somehow get a primetime game that's not Thursday night football, my prediction is this would be a Monday night game.
The Jets.
No, the Packers.
Oh, Packers.
That was one of my guesses. So I still think an L, but I think if
Yeah, I got us in a loss though.
That'd be
Yeah.
maybe. And then our last road game will be Jacksonville. I believe.
Yeah. I think they'll be
Who are we
I think-
playing?
very improved.
On the road.
That's the Jaguars. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
think they'll
gotta
be a lot better,
Hey,
but
okay. I don't want to sound like a party pooper, but I think that could be a sneaky L for us. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
yeah.
Yeah.
That just screams a game that we just suck and nothing goes well for us that day.
Yeah,
Plus, I really like the Jaguars now that they got Liam Cohen.
for sure.
So that means if we'll call it Jacksonville and L, that means a 7-5 record, and now we'll do the home game. That's still pretty good.
Yeah, that's a.
I'll take it.
I mean, that's
Compared to
already
what we
pretty
had,
good.
I'll take it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like we really have some hopes this season. Okay. So we'll do the home games. We host Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I think big on Stafford, big on their new receiving core. McVay's one of the best ever. So
That might be 7-6.
yeah, I'll take an L to the Rams.
I'll take an
We
L.
actually have a lot of tough home games. Our next home game is Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp in the Seahawks.
Oh,
Uh,
Brandon, what you guys say?
I'll take
Sam
a win.
Darnold revenge game.
I'll take a win there. I think.
A win?
Yeah,
I'll
I
take
think.
I'll take a W.
I'll take a win
It'll be
there.
a good battle. I think their defense is definitely going to put up a fight just because McDonald's just an awesome coordinator. Him and Canales should have a good game going against each other, but I just can't see their offense being that much better with Clint Kubiak, who
Yeah.
struggled last year. I know the Saints had deficiencies, but I just don't think they'll be too much better than what they had.
All right. That's 8-6, and then we have a regular season Super Bowl. We host the Bills.
Bills? Yeah, we're losing that game. I'll be there in person.
I would see them.
Yeah, I think that pass rush group right now versus Josh Allen is just not a favorable
Not there.
match.
I think we talked about this on the last one. We host Miami, and this is in September. I see us losing, but if this is in like November or December, that's a win. So that
Yeah.
that's gonna
Mm.
I'd love to take a win
Depends.
there too, but I haven't seen this new run defense play yet. And I think A-Chain could
Right.
just have a legacy game.
Right.
You want to say a
They'll
loss?
attack us in the receiving game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a toss-up. I think, they've been good the last couple of years, or better than us for sure, but I don't think they're some kind of Super Bowl contending team either, to where I would just definitely say an L. So it's up to y'all, whatever y'all think.
I think we can count this as an L. I don't want to say
Yeah.
too crazy. So that would be 8-8, and then our last home game is Dallas.
That's I'm taking a W on that one.
Yeah, I'll take a win in Dallas. I don't think with Dak
Yeah.
they'll be a lot better,
I
but
think we'll finally figure it out.
yeah.
Finally figure it out against Dallas. They've had our number the last couple of years.
9-8. I don't know if does that get us the division? That's 9-8.
If we went 4-2 in it, I think it'll come down to a game or two.
Yeah.
Yep.
We go 4-2 division. Yeah.
I don't think playoffs will be sick, but if we miss it by a game, I think that's still franchise altering.
Yeah,
I
huge
like that.
improvement.
Yeah. Okay. 9-8 record, a solid mock draft, and free agency updates. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for joining, first of all.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having us, Krish.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
y'all.
Chris.
Yeah, of course, bro. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Sports Talk with Krish is on the road to 2,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get this up, going a little crazy again. I'm gonna have another podcast coming out this week about Selection Sunday, March Madness. Some more Panthers podcasts, some articles. I'm gonna be making some short videos about all of our signings as well. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next one, and keep counting.